and then prior to this meeting, there was an executive session to discuss real estate and personnel. It's now time for hearing of visitors, part one. This is an opportunity for, before we go to hearing of visitors, part one, I'd like to introduce Mr. Andy Stouffer, who would like to present the Lacey Award.
Thank you very much. Since 2006, the Latrobe Area Chamber of Commerce has recognized members of our chamber, both for-profit and non-profit, for the investments that they make in the community. This can be in the form of new buildings, new plant and equipment, new machinery, or in the form of human resources, hiring more workers, putting more people to work. We feel that that investment makes a positive impact on our local economy. We generally ask for our members to self-nominate because obviously we don't have any idea what companies are making what investments or how many new people there are. But in the case of the Greater Latrobe School District, we present this award this year to you for your unique partnership with the Latrobe Foundation, not so much for investing money in your new administration building after being faced with having to either do extensive repairs or remodel or purchase a new facility, but in partnership with the Latrobe Foundation, you made a unique investment to put an older facility, the former Red Cross office on Lincoln Road, back into operation. You saved the taxpayers, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe more, in what you did. And for that, the Chamber would like to recognize Greater Latrobe School District for their contribution to our local economy with the 2011 Lacey Award. It's one of 10 that we're presenting this year, and we'd like to acknowledge your investment and thank you from the taxpayers. And a separate note too, if I may, just as a personal observation, I've been a chamber executive in 4 different communities over 33 years here in southwestern Pennsylvania. And generally I know that school board members put in extraordinary amounts of time and volunteer service for the benefit of our community and for the benefit of our children, with no remuneration and seldom with little thanks. But I do want to recognize you and thank all of you, both the incumbent school board members and those that are coming in, for the service that you provide to our community. So if I may, I'd like to present the Lacey Award to you, and also Senator Ward has presented a certain citation from the Senate of Pennsylvania to accompany our award.
We have to thank Mr. Stoven and the Chamber for this honor, as well as, if you all note, Mr. Stoven's colors this evening
They're appropriate for the occasion.
And for the occasion, so we really do appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Stouffer. Okay, we'll get back to hearing of visitors, part one. This is an opportunity for anyone in the audience to address the board about any item on tonight's agenda. Does anyone like to address the board on any item on tonight's agenda? Having no comment, I move for the adoption of the minutes of the regular board meeting held October 24th, 2011. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion of the minutes? All in favor of the minutes say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries unanimously. Solicitors report, Mr. Naples.
No report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Naples. Legislative report, Dr. Laughlin.
Voucher bill's still being worked on, still in my grease,
Planning, Mrs. Mays.
Yes, thank you. We'll begin with Lynn Kaiser and Kathleen Nick, the first energy education grants. Please. Oh, see, okay, Mr. Lucassian.
I'm really going to introduce. So, we have two of our physics teachers, one of whom is able to be here, who applied for a grant from First Energy Education. And with us tonight is Ms. Nick, and she's going to explain what she applied for, the grant she applied for, and what she hopes to do with it. So this time, Kathleen.
Hello, I am Kathleen Niff. I teach physics at the high school. Our other physics teacher, Lynn Kaiser, was unable to be here tonight because of a family obligation. But I just wanted to, I was asked to relate to you what happened with our grant story here. About 2 months ago, I received an email from Mr. Lucasio announcing a small grant from First Energy. And First Energy is now the bunch of electric utilities, Western Power, and that whole thing. The grant was for $500. So I approached Lynn and I asked her if she'd be interested in doing a joint application. And I hadn't done a grant application for a while. I used to do, there was a grant offered for teachers from St. Vincent's College for a while, and I used to apply for that. And I was pretty successful with that one. But I was a little bit nervous about this, but I noticed, I looked back at the previous grant winners, and they were all elementary school teachers, all in elementary school settings. And so I thought, oh, okay, maybe we got a chance here. This is a high school thing. So we were very lucky, and we did. And presently, Lynn and I are very lucky with the amount of lab equipment that we have in our school in physics. We have computer interface Pasco scientific lab equipment, and we also have a lot of traditional equipment that we would use in traditional physics labs. So it really prepares our students. And so when we thought about this, I wanted to extend what we presently do and for this grant. And in the third quarter of the year, our physics course does electricity and magnetism. And the final topic is electromagnetic induction. And we didn't really have any equipment for that, and so that's what I kind of look for using this grant money. And if you're not quite sure what electromagnetic induction is, it's when a changing magnetic field creates an electric current. And so that's what a generator does. And so we found some equipment that is a model generator and also a series and parallel circuit that goes along with it. So I thought this would be like our last topic of electricity and magnetism. And so we put together inquiry-based lab for the equipment that we're proposing. And it's an electromagnetic inquiry lab. And if you're not quite sure what an inquiry-based science education is, it focuses on student constructed learning versus a lot of times students end up doing in school what I call school science, where they have like sort of cookbook labs. Where this one is more of an idea where they look at a situation and they come up with the question that they want to ask. And so it gives us an opportunity to talk about things like what's a scientific question. And so hopefully we have planned this so that initially they are going to do this as a class lab. And our proposal was that they do it as a class lab. We start off with a demonstration of the equipment, and they form some scientific questions that they would like to investigate. And they will develop an inquiry lab. And so the evaluation of the students is going to be based on class discussions and Lynn and I are both hoping that this is really going to enhance student learning and also give an opportunity for our students to connect classroom learning with real world learning. So that they're not just doing like school science. And I just really wanted to, I was very, very happy that we were awarded this, that we got this award, and I just wanted to share this with you and make you aware that this is going on. And if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them. Good?
Any other questions? I'll just thank you for taking the initiative to do that. I think that's wonderful, and the kids are gonna be better for it.
I hope so, yes.
Great that you, take the time and the energy to put that together, and you got the award. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Second, we'll do the student report with Carmelita and Mitchell.
Good evening. This evening, Carm is planning on discussing the Navy SEAL Challenge that was performed this past week. And then we have a guest, Jessica Kissel, to discuss the recent play that was performed in late October called the Musical Comedy Murders of 1940. It was a play performed by the drama department. They started practicing in September, and they practiced twice a week after school and on every Saturday morning. And then they moved up to 3 days after school, and then on every Saturday morning in October. Then during Tech Week, they practiced every day until 8 o'clock in the evening. And here to discuss the play is Mr. Kissel.
As Mitchell said, our intense practice schedule, it really forces everyone in our cast to learn how to be organized. And the most important skill that teaches you is time management. We all have to structure our days where we find time to do our own work. Me and my friends take a lot of challenging courses, and it's taught us ways to prepare ourselves for entering not only the college world, but also the workforce someday. And we'll be able to better manage our time and get things done in a more productive manner. And we're also given deadlines to have all of our lines memorized, and when we're taught the blocking and stage directions, we also have days where we have to get all of that down. And it's definitely a bonding experience for all of us to be together so often after school and interact with one another, especially within a smaller cast like we had this year. We had only 10 members. There were 5 guys and 5 girls, and we just become a family over that time. And it's a really incredible experience to get to know my peers as well as I have the past 3 years that I've been involved in the drama department. And one of the things I love about being involved in theater is it stretches my abilities to problem solve as an actress. When I'm given a challenge like I was this year, my character had to have 4 different personalities within its part. And it was definitely something that I've never experienced in my life before. And it was a very nice opportunity for me to explore facets of myself that I didn't know I had. And some more benefits that I think go into being involved in the theater department are definitely the teamwork that you build. You have to learn to get along with other people. It doesn't work if you want your own way. You have to be able to compromise, and that's a very important skill that we have to adapt to. And absolutely the friendships. My best friends are the ones that I get to see and work with after school every day. And it also improves my cognitive function because my brain is able to process the information I'm learning at a faster rate when I'm forced to learn lines at quick deadline dates. And I'm definitely more comfortable in public speaking because of my experience with the theater department, which I started performing in the musicals and plays in 7th grade, and I've carried that with me throughout my entire high school career up to now my senior year. And it's definitely important, and I believe for me personally, this is the best thing that I've gotten to experience at the Latrobe Theater Department, is my self-discovery. Because I'm forced to live in another person's shoes for the 2 or 3 months that I'm dedicating myself to swim 20 laps in 11 minutes. And then right after that, we went straight to the weight room where we had to do 6 pull-ups in 2 minutes. For those of you who don't know, not many kids can do pull-ups, myself included. And you had to do 42 push-ups in 2 minutes, and you had to do 52 sit-ups in 2 minutes. And then you had, right after all of that, you had to run a 1.5 miles in 11 minutes. I didn't really think that it sounded too hard, so I just went for it. And I did it, and I was proven wrong. It was so hard. And I thought that I was in good shape. I really did, until I couldn't move for a week after. Honestly, I could not do a push-up for at least 5 days after I did this, because I was so sore. And it was hard. No one finished the 1.5 miles, and no one did 6 pull-ups. And it was so much fun, and I'm so happy I did it. And it really just helped me realize, like, it helped me add on things that I can do now. And I'm so excited, and I'm so happy that they decided to take on doing this, because not only do we get a free t-shirt, but it was really fun. And it really showed teamwork, and we all kind of just pushed each other, because guys are with girls, and the guys want to beat the girls, but it was really competitive, and it was so much fun, and I'm really happy I did it. And it taught me that you should really just take opportunities like that willingly, not being afraid to lose sometimes. Because I was really mad that I lost and I didn't really finish, but I'm happy that I did it, because I know it's going to help me a lot. So that's all.
Enrollment report, Dr. Tevert, that's on page 7 of your packet. It's your typical 45-day enrollment report. Do you have any comment, Dr. Tevert?
No comments. Are there any questions on the enrollment report for this month? Thank you.
Thank you. Educational programs, Dr. Ferrana.
I will not be giving a specific report. Mr. Evans was here. He's our teacher leader for health and physical education. Over the last couple of years, we've approved many grants for physical education, and Mr. Evans has really been leading a paradigm shift for the physical education department. It's no longer looks like it did when I was in school a short time ago. And so I'm going to let him turn it over to him, and he has some things for you.
Hi, I'm Tim Evans, and like Dr. Prina said, I'm the K-12 health and physical education teacher leader. The reason I came in today, we've had a lot of changes in our program, not only in instruction and curriculum, but in the equipment that we're using, also in the way that we deliver our information to the students, as well as the ways that we assess our students. With so many changes, we just thought it would be beneficial to come in and kind of make everyone aware of what we're doing and the direction we're going. The first thing that we changed was in our overall mission, and our mission now is to keep kids active, maximally active every class when they come in. Students will come in for an average of 40 minutes in the class, and in the past, when we would have a large number of students in the gym, a lot of students would end up maybe sitting out while other students are on the floor performing an activity and switching. We wanted to get away from that and keep kids maximally active for the entire period every time that the students are in class. One other thing that we wanted to do within that was to every single class make a commitment to making sure we're improving the students' fitness levels. So every time they come in, we address the 5 fitness components: muscular strength, muscular endurance, their cardiovascular endurance, flexibility, and body composition. So every time we have a student, they're getting an improvement in their fitness, and they're also being maximally active. All of you are probably already aware, the American College of Sports Medicine, the Center for Disease Control, even the NFL Play 60. They're all trying to push that kids are active every day for at least 60 minutes. And we wanted to do our part to make sure that we're helping our students to attain that 60 minutes of activity. So we're doing our part in fighting childhood obesity and to help our kids learn healthy habits now, so that as they grow and even leave us at Latrobe, they're going to stay active and they're going to find activities that they like and things that they can do. One of the goals that we use to help fight childhood obesity increase the fitness levels, and maximize activity is we threw in a MVPA assessment every day. MVPA stands for Moderate to Vigorous Physical Activity. And again, that comes from the recommendations from the American College of Sports Medicine, the NFL Play 60. They're all recommending the kids are moderately to vigorously active for 60 minutes a day. Doesn't have to be 60 minutes in a row, it can be broken up into small parts. If you're not sure what MVPA stands for, moderate to vigorous physical activity, is basically that you are moving faster than a brisk walk. So any activity you're doing that is a speed walk or better is having a very beneficial reaction to your health. Just to give you an example of what we're doing, I have a short video clip. This is just showing how we keep kids active during class. We call it Get Active. You can do that without sound.
You want it without the sound?
For right now.
Okay.
The kids in this class, we have about 54 kids in this class. They're still working on running, jumping, hurdling, balance, locomotor skills, hopping, skipping, jumping, but they're all moving, they're all active the entire class. They move from one thing to the next. You'll never see kids sitting around. We're working on muscular endurance when they're on the scooter, pulling with their legs, tumbling in the far corner, hurdling, running, jumping. Everything that we do keeps all the kids active and keeps all of the kids moving for the entire period. Over in the far corner, you'll see kids skipping, jumping, hopping, leaping. The next set of things that we did to optimize the kids' activity levels, you'll see here there's some kids doing balance, they're walking on low beams, they're walking on high beams. But one of the things that we did to maximize the activity level was not only to set up big stations where we can handle large groups of kids, but we also went out and sought after several different grants. The first grant came from Highmark where we bought spinning bikes. We got $10,000 from Highmark to get spinning bikes that we put around the perimeters of schools, also in the weight rooms. The next step, Dr. Perano spearheaded a grant through Highmark to get Dance Dance Revolution. And that Dance Dance Revolution is in every elementary school, and we can have up to 60 kids using that at a time with the practice pads. We got a grant for rollerblading. All the elementary schools now have rollerblading for all the kids. We have the safety gear and all the equipment for those students to use. And the most current grant that we got for this year to help with our changes was through Highmark. We got 5 separate $10,000 grants, one $10,000 grant for each building, and that was specifically to use towards improving the fitness levels. And that grant bought things, and they're in the paper that I gave you. That grant bought things such as equalizers. They're called Libra equalizers, and they are on the second page that you have. There's 4 pictures there showing you people doing exercises with those. Those Libra equalizers, every single student in grades K to 12 use those on a daily basis the first 10 minutes of class, and those that are capable to be set up on levels, whereas a kindergarten student who's never exercised before can do a beginner's level on those, and a senior high student who's been exercising for 10, 11, 12 years can do a level 4 or 5 exercise working the same muscles, so every student is challenged, but every student can be successful. On the last page that you see there are the other things we got through the grant. The rail yard fitness is at the top, and every school got the rail yard fitness through the grants, and kids can do any activity that supports their body weight. You see the picture of a girl doing a crab walk across the 2 rails. You can do bear crawls, you can do lunges, you can do agility things over and under, walking on top of them, all different ways to move and control your body. Below there, they're using a jungle gym. A jungle gym is just like a TRX suspension trainer, if you've heard of those. The jungle gym is the same thing, and it's a way for you to use your body weight to increase all of your muscles, multi-joint movements. They also use your core and stability with everything you do. And again, they're set up on levels. So a student who's never exercised before, that doesn't have the upper body strength to maybe do a normal push-up, they can use the jungle gym and stand almost upright, so they're only lifting 10 to 15% of their body weight. Someone who's stronger, that's been working out, can lower those jungle gyms down to the floor where they're supporting almost all of their body weight during the exercise. And the last thing through the grant that we got were the fit steps. We got a fit step for every student in the district from grades K to 12. This helps to assess our students to make sure that they are being active. It helps our students to know that when they have a goal, that they need to be active to achieve it. They can tell us how many steps a student's taken in class. They can tell us the activity time, which is basically any time they were moving, and it also tells us their moderate to vigorous physical activity time. And what's nice about them is they're set up to the individual. So gone are the days where we tell every kid, they have to run a mile in 7 minutes or they don't get a good grade. Now we tell them you need to be MVPA time of 20 minutes, and if Tim Evans is not in good shape, and I haven't exercised a lot, my moderate to vigorous physical activity may be set at a level 3, or someone who is in excellent shape may have their MVPA grade set at a level 8. So my fit step will only read at a level 3, theirs will read at a level 8. So everyone's evened out and it's fair for everyone, so you're only really competing against yourself. And Mrs. Pines, if you could go to the video clip 1, this will show the grant equipment we're using. This grant equipment is in every single building, every single student uses them. And again, it's under the same concept of keeping everybody active and everybody moving. This is a second grader doing this. You see him moving on the rail yard. There's a million different ways to travel and exercise on these. Kids are using their muscles, they're using their heart and lungs, they're staying active, they're staying busy. And we're still working on skills such as sports skills, locomotor skills, throwing and catching. You'll see kids all around the perimeter of the gym working on sports skills, which we look at the critical elements. Within all this, when we made these changes, we figured if we're making all this effort to improve the kids' fitness and to keep them busy, we need to test them, we need to assess them, and we need to be able to track it. So with the help of Sue Wissinger, she helped to put all of these students' fitness testing onto eSchools. eSchools is what we use for grading, so it works very well. It parallels with the grading. I can click on a student's name, I can click on Mr. Bill Palmer's name, it'll come up. It'll show me his fitness scores from every grade that he was in Latrobe, their pre-test and their post-test. It's going to show me his improvement. It's going to show me where he needs improvement. The program is free, so it's saving us money where we used to use the FitnessGram that cost the district money. Now it's free, it's effective, and it's very beneficial for all the students. It's easy to use. You see the jungle gyms being used there. The railroad fitness is what you saw before that, and the equalizers were the yellow bars the kids were doing pull-ups on. Right now you see kids looking at their pedometer. That fit step will tell them what they need to do for the day, and they check it, they reset it. It's very simple, it's very durable, and the kids use them every day, no matter what we're doing, so that they're all learning to be active in any activity we do. You'll never see a kid standing around anymore. If we're doing hockey, basketball, anything we do, if they're not directly involved in play, you'll see kids doing jumping jacks, running in place, staying busy, staying active. So the daily technology, every day we use either the fit step or a heart rate monitor. The kids are still working on things like balance, coordination, teamwork. We still hit the affective domain with teamwork and cooperation, as well as the skills. 2 things that we put in there to make sure that we are helping our kids to be active and improve their health outside of school, because we only see the kids 2 days a week in elementary, in junior high 3 days, and senior high we do see them more often. We wanted to make them stay active outside of school, so we came up with a Fight to Be Fit pledge. It's a pledge that these kids can sign, promising that when they're not in phys ed class, they're going to do something outside of school to keep them active. They let us know what it was. It could be basketball, football, baseball, wrestling. It might be walking your dog. It might be riding bikes with your parents, but you're promising to do 1 hour of activity 3 days a week outside of your phys ed class. With that, we also offered them the chance to get donations from family, friends, neighbors, where if they got a certain amount of donation brought in, they could get their own fit stuff that they could keep and have for their own. And when they do that, we give them goals. A lot of kids got them. A lot of kids went for the Fight to Be Fit pledge. There's kids wearing these fit steps all through school. They'll come up to me and show me when they're leaving. They have a goal to get 10,000 steps a day. They're all talking about them. Kids that didn't get them once they saw it, now they want them. They're going to stores and buying them. But it's great because it gets a buzz going about fitness. It's getting kids to promise to be active. It's having them do things with their family. It's giving them family time. It's keeping them busy. The last thing we did was a fit club. Every single school offers a fit club where kids can come in on Tuesday and Thursday mornings before school to get extra time to, again, improve their fitness. This is actually a fit club right here. The kids come in, they get to play a game in the middle, something they might not normally do in class. They're on scooters, using their upper body to pull, they're throwing and catching, but around the outside, you see all the kids exercising. It's 30 minutes of exercise and keeping them busy, and those fit clubs are full. At Bagley, I had to take it to 2 grades a day because of how many kids we have in. With me taking it down to 2 grades a day, I still have on average 30 kids at a time coming in there because they want more activity, they want to be active, and they want to improve. You'll see right here is a good example. They're playing a tag game. When a kid gets tagged, they used to sit out. Now they run in place, they jog in place, they do jumping jacks for a set amount of repetitions, and they're right back in the game. No one's ever eliminated. Everybody's always busy and everybody's always moving. We're trying to keep it fun and keep it structured for everyone. And the last thing is the Wildcat PE District webpage, which you're looking at now. This is up with the PE and wellness were combined together. So Jillian Malloy does the nutritional part of this, and I do the phys ed part. I'm kind of learning as I go, but I do have a lot of videos up there. There's Dance Dance Revolution on there, there's rollerblading on there, there's pictures of the Wildcat Run, the Navy SEAL Challenge that they talked about. Swimming 20 laps is 500 yards, that is not easy in itself. To get out and swim and go do all those exercises and then go run a mile and a half, it takes a lot of fitness and it takes a lot of training to be able to do well at it. But what we're trying to do is offer as many things as we can, like the Wildcat Run, the Navy SEAL Challenge. We'd like to get to where we offer a triathlon in the spring. So our students have something to train for and something to shoot for year-round to keep their health and to motivate them. The district webpage has articles, it has nutrition websites, it has exercise websites, all kinds of helpful tips about nutrition and exercise. They're all located on the left panel. There's a lot more videos up there that you can check out to show a lot more in-depth looks at our program. But I just want to thank everybody for the support we've had. It's been great. We've made a lot of improvements, and I think we're hopefully going to continue to make these improvements as we grow. So thank you for your time.
Mrs. Mays. Finance, Mrs. Elder.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to bundle resolution number 96, 97, and 98 and move for adoption of the three of them. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on any three of the resolutions? Hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries unanimously.
I move for adoption of resolution number 99 to authorize the homestead exclusion application mailing to be done by the Westmoreland County at a projected cost of 60 cents per application mail. Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries unanimously.
You will agendas, you will see that Finance and Property and Supply Committees had a joint meeting on November 2nd, and Dan Watson is going to talk to us about what was discussed at that meeting.
Thank you, Mrs. Zeller. Yeah, we had a representative from Living Services come and present to both committees about a plan that they have that they can put in place for our district. Basically, what they're willing to do is they're willing to review our facilities and look at any possible improvements or renovations to our buildings that could lead to operating efficiencies, which would then result in savings. And the idea is to use these savings to pay for the project, eliminating any burden on the taxpayers. So there would be any need to increase taxes to pay for these types of projects. Under the Act, the savings are guaranteed. At this point, both committees have approved moving forward with this study, and there's no cost to the district. There wouldn't be any cost to the district until the final stage. If the district chose to or decided to act or implement one of the projects, there would be an initial cost, but again, it would be outlined in the plan that the savings that would result from these projects would pay for it over the term of the project. So it seems like it's a pretty good option for us to look into. Is there any questions pertaining to that?
If you'll note if you'll read the meeting minutes, you'll notice that there isn't any decision needed on the part of the board at this point, that they're going to come to us after they do a survey, and that survey will be done without cost to the district. So at that point, the board may need to make some determinations about future action. I'd like to move for acceptance of resolution number 100, which is the First Energy $500 grant that we heard about earlier in the meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries unanimously.
All of the board members have been given a copy of the proposed budget for the school year 11-12, and we will be discussing this at the reorganization meeting, and there will be a resolution on the agenda at the regular meeting in December regarding action on the budget. And you will note that the presentation is slightly different from what we had before, but we told you earlier that Mr. Watson is more comfortable with this particular method, and this is what he's proposing to continue with. This is the way he's proposing to continue to do the budget. So your task is twofold. Number one, look at the budget, and number two, look at the presentation and figure out how you feel about both of those. And finally, I'll move for adoption of Resolution 101, which is to accept the Pennsylvania Department of Education audit for the years ending June 30th, 2008 and 2007. The motion has been seconded by Mr. Leisure.
Any discussion?
Yes, we have discussion. Mr. Watson has some discussion for us, and you all have a copy of that audit.
It's in the packet.
And it's in your packet, and this is one of those motions that is required for us to look at and be aware of and then vote on. And the results of that vote will be sent to the Department of Education as the end of their contribution to this process.
Yeah, I just wanted to summarize the report that you have. The audit was a clean audit. The audit was for the period of July 2nd, 2008 through December 22nd, 2010. And they specifically focused in on state subsidies for the 2006-07 school year and 2007-08 school year. Page one of the report actually has the audit conclusion and the results, and it does state that the audit found that GLSD complied in all significant respects with applicable state laws, regulations, contracts, grants, requirements, and administrative procedures. So that's as clean as an audit as you can get. They also noted there that they made one observation, and it dealt with our passwords and our security for the technology that we use, as far as having like 8 characters and the frequency in which those passwords were changed, and how we monitored outside vendors that had access to our software. We have addressed all of those issues, and it's actually noted on page 7. It has our management response listed in there, so those have been implemented, and they are very pleased with what we put in place. That was, I believe, shared too with the technology committee a little ways back. So those are the 2 that I wanted to highlight. Also, on page 1, they noted the status of the prior audit findings dealing with how we recorded our pupil, our reporting the number of non-public pupils transported. Sorry about that. And they noted that we did make changes. They audited those changes, and they are very comfortable with those as well. And then the final note was there's an adjustment that needs done to our subsidy for transportation. It's a very small adjustment from the 2005-06 audit that the Department of Ed has not adjusted yet. We resubmitted our reports to them notifying the Department of Education resubmitted our reports to them notifying them of this, and we are monitoring and hoping that they will make those adjustments sooner than later. So it's a pretty standard report, and it's, like I said, it's as clean of an audit as you can get from the state. Thank you.
Now, because this has to be reported to the Department of Ed, I believe we have to have a roll call on this matter.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call please, Mrs. Lynch.
Yes, Mrs. Boland. Yes. Mrs. Elder.
Yes.
Mrs. Cozart. Yes. Dr. Lockman. Yes. Mr. Laser.
Yes.
Mrs. Haynes.
Yes.
Mr. Palmer.
Yes.
Dr. Walker.
Yes.
Thank you, that is my report.
Thank you, Mrs. Elder. Would you like to continue on with property and supply?
I would love to.
Thank you.
First, we did a request for proposals for architect services. Mr. Watson?
We did. Those proposals were due on November 4th. We received 18 proposals. We're in the process of reviewing each of those, so more to come.
And there were bids that were due on November 9th for spring sports, and that award will be made on December 13th. You will see the bidder and the bid amounts in your agenda. And finally, I will move for adoption of resolution 102, permission to advertise for a used snowplow truck.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries unanimously.
That ends that report.
Thank you, Mrs. Elder. Student activities and recreation. Just want to remind everyone of this fall sports recreation night this Wednesday, tomorrow, at 7 p.m. in the senior high school auditorium. We recognize all the athletes participated in the fall sports, both men, boys and girls, and then there's cookies and punch. So if you can make it, if you're not busy. That concludes student activities. Intermediate unit liaison, Mrs. Bola.
Thank you, Dr. Rocca. The only information I have tonight is located on page 14. It's the summary of our board meetings, our last board meeting at the Westmont Intermediate.
Thank you, Ms. Bola. Community relations, Mr. Laser.
No report.
Thank you, Mr. Laser. Thank you. Eastern Westmoreland Career Technical Center Joint Operating Committee, Mrs. Cosar.
the induction. It's Wednesday, November 16th at 7 p.m. And hopefully you all received one of these in the mail. And RSVP, and they would love to have you. It's a really nice event to recognize the vote takers. And then the other one that is not on here, that you're also all invited, and we, as members of the JOC, hope you all come because we really love to have a forum. And Latrobe did very well last year. I think we have more than any of the sending schools. So good for us, and let's do it again. It's the December 7th meeting where you all get to come and vote. The festivities begin at 5:45. The students put on some hors d'oeuvres and desserts for us in the culinary arts program, and then we proceed to our Jonathan board meeting. And we would like to see you all there. So hopefully you receive this pretty much too.
Thank you, Ms. Kosar. Board policy, PSBA liaison, Mrs. Elder.
Yes, we have a board policy that we had a first reading approved last month, and this is the resolution to finally adopt revisions to board policy number 815, use of technology resources and acceptable use of the internet. I'll move for adoption of that resolution.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, that is that report.
Thank you, Ms. Elder. Transportation, I want to call your attention to page 16 in your packet, which is the minutes from the most recent transportation committee. I believe Mr. Mears has some information he wants to distribute.
Yeah, what I'm gonna present to you is just some of the guidelines that we would like to lay out for you to look at. We can talk more about these if you have a chance to take a moment, look them over. If you remember back in September, October, we said that, you know, there's some things we're gonna have to do to rein this in a little. We think these will get us started to what we need to do. And then, of course, as you look over, you can feel free to call me, discuss them, and we can work from here from it. But these would be three major helps to not just us, but the teachers, the accountability of kids, the buses, and elementary teachers, I'm sure, will benefit greatly from these guidelines. And what it really does is help us put around the safety and of the kids and the correct busing. The reason they're not all complete is I do have some calls into PD. We're waiting for some clarification on some things. Like if you de-sign a stop and assign it somewhere else, you still have to keep the resident stop, or can you? Because it says you have to give them a stop at their home. But can we get rid of that stop at their home if we give them a stop somewhere else? So we're waiting for clarification before you're going to do something that you find out isn't kosher with PDE. So, and with Edgelog system, you can only assign one stop. So there's a lot we have to go over, but this is the general guidelines, and feel free to call or stop in and we can explain more to you. And maybe in December, you know, maybe if you have questions, we can answer them.
Any questions or discussion?
I have a question. Does this mean that it says if a family requests a second stop, they must switch to the stop at the new address all 5 days of the week? Does that mean that student is picked up at the second stop and let off?
No, not necessarily. It could be PM. But what we're saying is they're calling in and saying, well, we want to drop off at this house Tuesday and Thursday, and then we want this stop Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We said, if you want to change your PM stop, we can give you a stop. But you have to go there 5 days, and more, not that it's an inconvenience, but that you handle it from there. Because it's putting pressure again on the teachers, say, well, it's Tuesday, they have to go to miss bus Tuesday. Okay.
When does this go into effect?
Well, I'd like to have it so we understand maybe towards February or March, where we can announce the guidelines in place and put them on the website so that next year we can function under these guidelines.
The next year.
Any other questions? That concludes transportation. Technology, Mr. Palmer?
Thanks, Dr. Marco. Robert.
Yeah, just a couple things we just did quick updates on was the ECAT Academy and teachers were doing middle training, for the elementary teachers were doing the smart board training. Those have been going very well received by the teachers. Principals who are present, Mrs. Swigert, Dr. Brennan are present, and they attest to, the level of, instruction that the teachers are receiving and what they're able to now turn around and be able to, incorporate into their classrooms for their students. So it's going very well.
Thank you, Dr. Martin, no problem, Mike.
Thank you, Mr. Palmer. Superintendent's recommendations.
I'd ask the board to move on resolution number 104, which is the appointment of the two substitute teachers listed on your agenda.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? I have a resolution on the floor. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries unanimously.
And I'd ask the board to move on resolution number 105, which is the appointment of the support personnel, which are listed at the bottom of page 5 as well as on the top of page 6.
So moved.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries unanimously.
And under other business, there's a few dates to remind you of. This Thursday morning is the Breakfast of Champions, some committee meeting dates, as well as the announcement of the reorganization meeting, which will be held here at the CSC on Monday, December 5th, as well as the regular meeting in December 13th on Tuesday. In addition, which is not here, but maybe you can make note, the Kennemetal engineering program, as Mr. Lacasio mentioned at the curriculum meeting, is having a final reception for the first group through on January 4th. And certainly all of you are invited. They had a reception earlier in the school year, which I know Mrs. Eller was able to attend. I will email the time of that meeting. It's going to be at 2 or 3 o'clock. It's going to be a closing reception for the first group. They are doing another group through the program for the second semester, and we're in the process of coordinating the students for that second group. So January 4th, if you're interested in attending at Kennemetal, I know that they would welcome you.
Thank you, Mrs. Morgan. I'd just like to inform the board that this evening I received a letter from Dr. Patrick Landry, who resigned his board seat effective immediately. Dr. Landry has some other obligations and felt that he would be unable to fulfill his responsibilities as a member of the school board, and wanted to make us aware of that fact as early as possible to give the new board members and everyone an opportunity to get a replacement for the new board took, or as the new board takes shape beginning in December. I believe Mr. Nichols is recommending a resolution for us.
Yeah. There's two resolutions that pertain to Dr. Landry's position. The first is a resolution which accepts Dr. Landry's written resignation, which he tendered tonight to the board. And the second sets forth your intent to appoint, in accordance with the school code, a successor to fill the vacancy that will be created by accepting the resignation. So both of these resolutions are not on the agenda tonight, so they'll be open for discussion by board members, but also by the public in accordance with the direction of the president. First resolution will be resolution number 106. And this will read as follows. Resolved that the Board of School Directors of the Greater Latrobe School District hereby accepts the resignation of Patrick Landry, effective immediately. I would ask that, or recommend that the board move on that resolution.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second Any discussion from the board regarding this resolution? Mr. Laser.
Welcome off, I think at this time I'd like to thank Dr. Landry for the service that he did give to the board. And he was very professional, and he did a good job, and I'm sorry to see that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Laser. Any other discussion from the board? Any discussion from the audience? Any comments from the audience? Hearing none, no further discussion from the board. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries unanimously.
The next resolution will be designated as number 107 of the 2011-2012 year. It'll read as follows. That the Board of School Directors of the Greater Latrobe School District hereby gives notice of its intent to accept letters of interest from those individuals who seek appointment to the board to fill the vacancy created by the resignation of Patrick Landry. To comply with the requirements of the Public School Code, the remaining members of the board intend to fill the vacancy within 30 days of the vacancy. Candidates should present letters of intent and interest and any additional supporting information no later than the close of business December 5th, 2011. Candidates for this position must be qualified electors of the district. Before I ask for a motion, can I fulfill what the board had intended and sought in this resolution?
I think that we should specify that that letter needs to be in the hands of the board secretary
Yes.
by December. The letter should be in the hands of the board secretary by December. They have to know where to take it.
Yes.
So that
We'll-
means-
we'll- we'll-
Specify a time also,
I said by the close of business.
close of business.
Candidates, we'll read as follows. Candidates should present letters of interest and any supporting documents to the board secretary no later than December 5th, no later than the close of business, December 5th.
Should we stipulate is the term limit in this, or is it?
It will be by law.
By law.
It'll be by law. Has that covered the concerns of the board? Okay. Then I would recommend that you move on resolution 107 as stated.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion by the board? Any further discussion on this resolution by any board member? Hearing none, I appeal to the audience. Any comments that would like to be raised from members of our audience regarding this resolution?
Was that in regard to what you just,
Yes, sir. You can only address this one issue right now. Okay. Anyone else? Hearing none? Yes, sir.
You guys get to appoint, you guys get the say on who,
The new board.
yeah.
The new board.
On the new board is.
The new board. Yes. You have a new board in place in December, and they will decide.
Yes, this board is just doing what any board would do under these circumstances. Under the school code, when a vacancy occurs, the school board has an obligation to fill that vacancy with a qualified elector from the school district within 30 days. We're in an unusual position because the election's already taken place and we'll have new board members. But this board believes it's more appropriate that the vacancy be filled by the newly seated board who will come in December 5th. But we still have the 30-day requirement that we have to act under. So this board is doing what any board would do, old or new, and they're just soliciting letters of interest and supporting information from any candidates who may be interested to fill the vacancy. It's a little, it seems a little sudden, but the law requires it to be done within 30 days. And so, in order to meet that, they're acting tonight. But it will be, the final decision will be made in accordance with the state law, but by the new board rather than by the holdover board.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments by the audience? By the board? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Unanimous. Okay. We've reached the point of the hearing of visitors, part 2. This is an opportunity for anyone in the audience that would like to address the board on any item, whether on or off the agenda. Please come up, state your name, address, and I remind you of the 5-minute time limit.
Salters, 512 Youngstown Ridge Road, Latrobe. I have a favor to ask of the board. I am hard of hearing, and I don't know if anybody else here had trouble hearing, but you've got those loudspeakers and microphones right in front of you. I would just really appreciate if you use them. Thank you.
They didn't seem to be on high enough tonight. And I'm talking right in. Can you hear me though?
They're not.
We couldn't hear you.
I think I hear your voice more than I hear the speakers.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll look into that.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry about that. You should have mentioned something.
Well, I'm not allowed to talk till after the meeting. I follow the rules.
You could have gave me one of these. I respond to that. Any other comments from the audience in regard to anything on or off the agenda? Any comments from Mr. Laser or Mrs. Fuller?
Actually, I just want to say this is my last meeting, and it's been a pleasure working with all of you, and I've learned a lot about how the school runs, and I'm very proud of our school district and our administration, and I think I'm leaving it in good hands to my fellow board members and administration. Sorry to go, personal reasons. I've enjoyed my time here on the board, but I want to thank you all very much for your hard work.
Mr. Laser?
I'd like to say it's been an honor and privilege to be on this board. It's been a long time when I first came on, I was back in around 85, somewhere there. And I wanted to thank my fellow board members and the administrators, especially you, the public. I look at this as a community service type job. Like Jim pointed out, we don't do it for money. And we live in a good community. I'm proud. That physical ed teacher did such a good job. The enthusiasm that he showed, and I don't even know the young man personally, but boy, he did one heck of a job. I almost wanted to go out and beat Bill here in some kind of physical contest. He didn't do it. But, you know, they want to change it, and how good our school system is. And watching those little kids in that phys ed, the only thing that I could identify with back when I was in high school a long time ago, we had a gym class, you maybe had one map, one set of parallel bars, and the kids stood there for maybe 20 minutes just to go out and do something, move. But I could imagine over how every one of those kids was active. You know? And I have to admit, I've been on the board how many years, and that's the first time I really got to see it in action. You know? So we could be really proud of our school system. I don't want to belabor this, but I just wanted to mention there's some qualified people coming on the board, good family names that have been in this district, and if these new board members do half of the job in the community, I was fortunate enough to know two of the young men coming on board, their fathers, and if they do half the job, that their fathers did, we'll have a good board coming forward. And also, it's good to see, Dr. George coming back on the board, because I think he was a good person and did a good job. I just wanted to say a big thank you to him. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Blazer.
And I want to move for the adoption of resolution.
Well, wait a second.
616.
One second.
Go ahead, I'm just teasing.
This also may be my last meeting, and, first thing I'd like to do is thank my fellow board members for electing me president of this school district. It was an honor to serve as president this year. It was probably the toughest year, that we've ever seen in public education. We were blindsided all the way from the top with the budget cuts. We got through it. We stayed united. I think we did one heck of a job in creating a budget that was met with satisfaction by everyone. You know, I don't think anybody come out a winner. No one come out a loser. And it was a win-win situation, and that's a success, I think, on our part, and I salute you all for handling that budget situation. The other thing that I'd like to say, you know, when a lot of people found out that I wouldn't be coming back on the board, they said, boy, you know, you're finally getting rid of a thankless job. And I've heard it over and over again about this being a thankless job. Well, I'm here to dispel that rumor. I'm here to say that anybody that thinks that this is a selfless job has never been to an athletic event, has never been to a school play, has never been to Pi Day, has never been to Breakfast of Champions, has never seen the change in children. I've watched my children change in the 12 years that they've been a member of the school district to two very nice, well-educated young people. And that's all. And graduation night, when we have the opportunity to pass out a diploma, there's no money in the world that can pay me for the satisfaction that I get being able to say that I was a small part of this. So, in closing, I'd like to thank my fellow board members for a really good job this year, a tough year in public education. And thank you for making me president. It's something that history will judge me by my term in office, and I truly hope that I've served you all well in the past year. Thank you.